Hey everybody, Steve here, and let's take a look at all the stories we're following from the AFR news desk for May 5th, 2015. Our lead story this week comes from Eagle Gryphon Games, where on Board Game Geek they announced that they're going to be releasing some expansions for their Baseball Highlights 2045 game. Scheduled for later this year, they'll be putting out 12 new starter teams and 2 new expansions entitled Errors and Big Fly. It looks like it'll introduce a couple of new mechanics to the game and should be an interesting mix of cards that will come along and definitely spice up Baseball Highlights. Been really enjoying that game. It still gets onto my table and definitely looking forward to more. We'll bring you further details on that as we get them, and definitely looking forward to their release later this year. In other news, in the latest APBA newsletter, they're bringing back their old APBA Journal, and every month you'll be able to look at a retro issue for free right from the APBA website. This month you can check out the November 1980 issue, see some articles about the Red Sox fielders ratings, and lots of other great stories. For those of us that never saw the APBA Journal, like myself, this is a really interesting thing that they're doing, having a different issue available every month to look at, and definitely looking forward to seeing what one comes out next month. And now let's take a look at new releases. Just one new release to talk about over at Downey Games. They've released the 2015 NBA season for their Ultra Quick basketball game. And now it's time for the question of the week. So after an absence last week, we're coming back with the question of the week segment. This week I'd like to know, how early do you give up on your favorite baseball team? This has been a really frustrating beginning of the season for the Red Sox, and it looks like their starting pitching is just atrocious, and I'm not really sure who is going to step up and become the stopper of the rotation. Although it could be the Milwaukee Brewers, who have already fired their manager and installed a new manager, so some teams, I guess, that are in worse straits than Boston. But I'm still hanging on hope, of course, because hope springs eternal every year here in Boston. So leave a comment below letting me know how long you hold on to hope for your baseball team and when it's time to call it a year and hope for a good off season. And now it's time for channel updates. So this past weekend, I was able to get out the APBA soccer review. There's been a really good response to that so far. Thank you to everybody that's watched and left comments. I know that a lot of people were waiting for that review, and so I hope I was able to provide enough information on that game so you can know if that's something that you're going to want to pick up. The next review that I'll be working on is actually not on a game, but on some game components. I'll be taking a look at the new Replay basketball game components, show you what they look like, what's changed from the last version. As always, the news will go up every Tuesday, and stay tuned next week. I'll return with a 2-minute drill on the Dice Towers board game breakfast. Alright guys, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. My name's Steve, and I'll see you next time after further review.